Hey everybody, it is Chuck Barone on Thursday, September the 12th, 2024. Hope everybody's having a great day today. It's a happy day, man. You know why, guys? Because I get my Buffalo Bills this evening all by themselves, no distractions, just the Bills. It's going to be a great evening. A lot of crazy stuff going on in these markets today. Did you see what happened? Interesting stuff. We got a lot to talk about today. Before I get rolling, though, let me take a half a second. Welcome everybody to the show, and as always, guys, thank you for your support for the show. It really I appreciate it. We got all the regulars on the chat going today. Wolf and Dave and Molly leading the parade. Just smoke. Nice to see all you guys on. Anyway, all right, let's talk about these markets and what we had today. So we knew we were going to get PPI numbers today. We knew we were going to get jobless claims. We thought that after CPI was such a decent number yesterday, we were kind of, let's see what we get today in these markets from the data and how the markets react to it. It'll kind of give us a finishing things up kind of as far as what's going to happen next week when the Fed has their meeting. How much are they going to cut? And it looks like it kind of did exactly that, man. I got to say, Powell is either the smartest Fed chair ever or the luckiest. Or I don't know, maybe they can just do a much better job fudging the numbers these days than they could do back when Volcker was president. I'm sure Arthur Burns, if he could have, would have been very happy to fudge some numbers on inflation. The only problem is when people are dealing with it every day in the grocery store, it's kind of hard to really bullshit anybody, right, guys? I mean, we've seen that really recently. But inflation numbers, PPI today, Fed got exactly what they wanted. Jobless claims, they got exactly what they wanted. We know they're backing off from this big bank reserve program. So the banks got exactly what they wanted. Everything lining up for a rip roaring, let's go, 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 man. It's hard for me to believe it. I gotta say, it really is. This whole, Goldilocks. It's the porridge of this going to be just right. Well, you guys know me, man. I'm a big kind of skeptic on that stuff. I don't believe in perfect. I don't believe that. I just don't believe in all that bullshit. And the idea that they're going to actually pull this off, like I said, I got to see it with my eyes to believe it. I'm seeing the numbers and I'm seeing the way that everything's going here, right? But it is really something. All right, so let's see. So we got PPI we wanted. We got jobless claims we wanted. We got everything. We got the ECB came out today, cut interest rates in Europe. So a lot of stuff happening today. Markets loving it. Stock markets go wild. Dow Jones up 235 points, 41,096 on the Dow. NASDAQ up 174 points, 17,569 on the NASDAQ, and the S&P rallies up 41 more points, 5,595. I got to say it, man, you're going to see records on all these indexes coming soon, man. It looks like this bull market has just got some legs still. And as much as we don't want to believe this economy's really still got a little bit of strength, it looks like, according to these numbers, it does. We know what the cumulative inflation has felt like. We see it everywhere. But I don't know. I've actually seen gas prices coming down in Vegas, and they do that very grudgingly in this state. I don't know about you guys. Are you guys seeing your gas prices come down at all? I was reading an interesting article today. I'll talk about it a little bit about some things that are happening in the economy. Prices falling, actually. It's crazy. And now services are still tough, but it's really, like I said, I got to see it to finish to believe it. So the bond market today's kind of not really much happening in the bond market. Bonds selling off a little bit, yields rising. 10-year up 3 basis points, 4.68%. 2-year up 1 basis point, 3.66%. So now it's kind of still trying to adjust itself from the inversion to reversion. I don't know the language, but The bond market just kind of not much happening today. I think they've kind of already really taken a breath because it looks like they've already priced this quarter point in. So we'll see what happens with bonds when the Fed actually does the deed. It's going to be interesting. The dollar today took a little bit of a pummeling. Dollar down 48 basis points today, almost a half a point. 101.29 on the index. So the dollar, hey, Garfielding on the window. It's hanging in there, but it looks like the trend in the dollar certainly looks like it's turning negative and heading down. Precious metals today rallied up, though. Look at precious metals, man. Gold rallies up $46.50, man. Nice number for gold, $2,558 and change. Go gold, man, looking strong. Silver rallies up. I love this, guys. So silver rallies today up $1.20, $29.95. Ah! Silver just can't get through that $30 resistance. But no, not breaking through, making me go crazy. But it's going to get through sooner or later. We'll have to see now because I'm guessing tomorrow, Fridays are never great days. We'll see what happens in the world between now and then, right? So next week's going to tell the tale on silver. Need to break through that 30 and hold it, man. Or else we're going to see silver start going down, trying to find support for a bounce. It's going to be a bummer. Silver needs to break through. Oil today rallies up, continues to rally up $1.92 on a barrel of West Texas Intermediate. Now priced $69.25 for a barrel of West Texas. The good news is still below what we were thinking, 70 to 75, still below that, even with the nice, I think it's rallied up almost $4 and change over the last couple of days. So oil rallied up, but still the trend in oil still down. Bitcoin today up $770, 58,345 for Bitcoin. Looks like Bitcoin going to make a charge at 60,000. Let's see what happens. Those are the fun ones we're going to be watching, Bitcoin and silver, to see how they deal with this, technical stuff with these charts and this resistance and support numbers. All right, so let's talk about news you need today, guys. So we had PPI today did come. So listen to these numbers. Great numbers, man. They're exactly what they're expecting, 0.2% month over month. So wholesale prices up 0.2% from last month. Last month was unchanged prices. Remember, everybody was tripping on that. So prices ticking up a little bit, but right exactly where they expected it. The year-over-year number for the PPI today was really what astonished me, 1.7%. So that's from September through August of this year, boom, 1.7% producer price inflation, a great number. Last month, that number was 2.1%, so number came down pretty nicely. And I guess what's happening is finally reflecting some rental stuff, right? So great news for this. The core number, this is where they had a little bit of a setback. They were expecting 0.2 on core as well, came in 0.3. That was the only glitch in the system. Came in top. The number for year over year came in at 2.3%, making everybody really happy. Now, the reason there was any really increase at all was services, guys. Services up 0.4% month over month. The big drivers of this increase in services, banking fees, freaking banks, and internet stuff, internet access costing a little bit more, internet stuff costing more, driving that little bit of inflation. But lots of prices coming down, as I mentioned earlier. Listen to this, guys. This is pretty interesting. Energy prices falling 0.9%. So, I mean, a 1% fall is not huge, but it's nice to see energy prices coming down. Food up 0.1%. So food prices calming down. And food prices are down 0.8% from a year ago. Now, when you've had 25% increases over the course of the inflation, you get a 1% decrease, a 1% deflation. It certainly doesn't feel like you accomplished very much, right? You go from plus 25 to plus 24. But the good news is grocery prices are not really climbing much anymore. There's some isolated stuff. Eggs are, I guess, are having a spike again. They got this bird flu. They can't figure it out. But the good news is, guys, it looks like food inflation kind of tapering off now. I think part of that is consumers getting pissed, making some changes in the way they shop, doing away with certain brand names, doing away, finding substitutes. Instead of buying the steak, they buy the hamburger. But you know how things go. And I think that's making not only food sellers, the Walmarts and the Krogers, but food manufacturers are getting a lot of pressure from those sellers to lower prices, because the sellers take all the flack. If a bag of Lay's goes up, they don't call Lay's and scream at them. They call Walmart and scream at them. So it's good news, though, that food costs at least are not going up like they were. And if they come down even, less than 1%, it's certainly not going to, make much of a change if you're in your bill at the end, right? But again, I'd rather have that than any kind of increase. We got to take what we can get sometimes, right? Now, the sad news is grocery prices are still up that 24%. So, we're going to need quite a bit of, so good job, Chris. Silver broke through, huh? All right, let's see if how long they can hold, how long silver can hold it, man. That's great news. So back to what I was saying, grocery prices are still up crushingly, but we take that still sucks, but we take what we can get, and at least 20, maybe that's going to be the end for a little while of price increases at the grocery store. Jobless claims came in as well today. Jobless claims rising up from last week, 230,000 this week, up from the 228 last week. It's completely in line with what they were expecting. They actually expected 225. They thought the number would come down a little this week. It bounced up a little bit instead, but everything lining up perfectly, man, for St. Jerome. The guy, I mean, it just is here we go, right? It's like you got the inflation numbers coming down right where they want them. That PPI number 1.7, everybody happy to see that, right? Job market, not great, but holding up. Earnings, holding up. Stock market, right? So a lot of the indicators most people would look at as far as how is the economy doing well. Now we know from what we do and we talk about on this show, there's storm clouds out there. There's still some stuff that's going to have to be dealt with, right? But as of right now, everything going perfectly for Powell. No sign anywhere that I've seen of mass layoffs coming. Silicon Valley's been getting rid of some guys here and there, but nothing that's like, oh my God, the end is near, right? The corporate world today, that's the only thing here's the thing about those mass layoffs. The corporate world we live in today, because these guys are so freaking ruthless, so freaking cutthroat, that could change anytime. The CEO could just decide he needs, a boost in his stock. Layoffs always make stock prices go up. They figure they're going to have less expenses that way. So, that could change. But at least as the way it stands right now, nope, no mass layoffs anywhere that I've seen. Correct me. You guys are awesome. We'll have to see. You guys know of any mass layoffs coming? Let's have it, guys. The European Central Bank today, I mentioned earlier, cutting rates today by a quarter point. So this is their second rate cut already. They're already ahead of the Fed on rates. Now, their economy is nowhere near having the same robust hanging in there that our economy is. They're actually, it looks like if they're not already in recession, they are for sure heading for one. I think that they see a declining path for rates now. They're at 3.5% overnight. We're at 5.5%. That's going to make our bonds way more attractive, short terms especially, than Euro bonds are going to be. That's why I believe now the Fed has another reason to cut. They don't want that imbalance like that. The Euro bankers are probably screaming bloody murder at them. When are you guys going to move? So fascinating stuff going on here. I think that next week, the first time in a long time, guys, many years it's been, we're going to have a rate cut, man. And I got to say, I am really surprised. I get a lot of things right. I don't get everything right. And that was one thing that's one thing I'll tell you I was wrong, man. I did not believe the Federal Reserve was going to move forward with rate cuts right in the heat of a very, 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 very close election. Because I don't think this rate cut is going to move the economy like, oh man, our GDP is really going to jump. I don't think it's going to be like that. But I think the mood might shift. And if that happens, that's going to help the incumbent party. I think I'm really surprised, but it looks like, again, I was mistaken there. It looks like they're actually going to do it. But mark my words, we will have a Trump temper tantrum for sure when they announce the rate cut. Economists, listen to this, guys. I was reading this article, very interesting. Our economists are saying that good times are coming for small businesses in the U.S. So it looks like it's setting up to be like a 90s scenario, low inflation, robust economy, decent job market, productivity gains. And I think that small businesses dealt with a lot, man. They really have. You have the pandemic where, small businesses, a lot of them had to close and a lot of them never reopened. A lot of my favorite restaurants never reopened, that's for sure. And so the ones that struggled through that and got through it. Now we've had this funky mood in the country where even though business seems to be okay for most businesses, everybody's in a terrible mood. So even if business is okay, it just doesn't seem like it is, right? And hopefully they're going to get a little bit of a run. Yeah, they pointed out falling interest rates, the economy growing, gains in productivity, a workforce that wants to work. What the people that are working. So it looks like things are really lining up for St. Jerome. And I got to say, like I said, either the smartest or the luckiest. Now, I don't know. I doubt he's the smartest. But he certainly has been having things going his own way. We saw the numbers where they were as this inflation. We see where they are now. Now, granted, when you spike interest rates from pretty much near zero to over 5%, that's a pretty bold move. And amazingly, it has not smashed the U.S. economy into a recession. Hey, man, miracles do happen. And St. Jerome, I'm sure the Pope's going to announce at any time, here comes your sainthood. Because you have to do a miracle to become a saint, right? And what we're seeing here, if this is all for real, because the world we're living in, everything, you have to look at it with a rather jaundiced eye, right? But this is real. St. Jerome did his miracle. Anyway, guys, that's it for the day. Love each and every one of you guys. Have a great week. Have a great night, man. Buffalo Bills, 5 o'clock, prime. On the way out, guys. Boom. Hit the thumbs up, man. Hit the like button. It helps us get that video out there to some more people. Our views are tanking, guys. Oh, my God. Yesterday's was shit. I made a mistake, though. I talked politics. I should have known better. People were, they don't want to hear anything negative about their guy. They just want you to trash the other guy. And both sides are the same. But anyway, I learned a lesson there. Peace out, guys. Go Bills. Back tomorrow. Wrap up the week. Everybody have a good evening. See you tomorrow.